Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chicklets the Goose, aka Sean. I'm sitting here with Adam. Adam, say hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Or good evening. Look at him. Salutations.
Not necessary.
No, not that. All right. This is your inaugural, which means first, right? Your first time. It's like sex. It's my inaugural.
Oh, were you talking about me? I thought you were talking about the show.
The show, yeah. Either way, we're getting off to a great start.
Oh, yeah.
This show is Chemtrails. This podcast is Chemtrails with Adam and Sean. Hey! All right, we're applauding for ourselves. We have some cameras set up. Hello, guys. Hello. Hi, how are you? What we're doing, we're here, first off, at lovely Raytona Recordings / Good Dog Records here in Greenwood, Missouri. This is being broadcast through Counterclockwise, at Counterclockwise KC on Facebook, Instagram. If you want to go check it out, follow, share, like, spread the word, share the love. Also, Raytona Recordings on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check it out. Same thing with Good Dog Records. You can't miss it. Share, spread. It's a beautiful thing. This is the first of hopefully many. I think it's going to be many. You know, podcasts.
There's a lot of subject material.
There's a lot.
And you know, all we've really done here is relocate, because we used to talk about records at the bar.
No, that's true.
You know, could be anywhere in the fantastic downtown Lee Summit establishments.
And any one of the fantastic, 14, 15 establishments in downtown Lee Summit?
And about a 4-block radius.
Yeah,
Pretty
absolutely.
solid.
You know, we could say their name, but I don't see anything free in our hands. So.
Well, I did. I did.
You know, that's how it works now.
And I did accidentally wear one of their hats.
Oh my gosh, you did. Look at that. Camera one is catching that right now.
It is. Propping the French Beer Works.
Oh, you did it.
I did.
You did it first. Look at that. What are we going to get out of it? Hopefully, maybe a couple of cans.
I honestly...
I don't know. Go to French. You really want to go to French. They got some really delicious, tasty beers. And you know what? I love... when's the last time you've been there?
Honestly, it was when I bought this hat. It's been 2 or 3 months. I'm due.
Yeah.
I'm due for a visit.
The beer machine they have in the back. Dude, that reminds me of being back in the Navy. You know, you put a couple bucks in, and then they got the mystery beer, and you're like, oh, come on, no PBR. And then it's old style. And you're like, oh, I'm going to drink it, damn it, but I'm not going to like it.
Right. Because you basically don't say no to a beer unless it is absolutely god-awful and you are 3 sheets to the wind already.
Yeah, this is pretty true.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, we're going to keep talking about beer. You've got water, and I've got a delicious all-natural Snapple iced tea. We should hurry. Okay, podcast is over. We got to go. Thank you guys for listening. Bar time? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, you know, hey, is that organic?
I think so. Snapple. I have been to the East Coast where they actually pour it from a tap. Have you seen that? They love their Snapple over there, man.
A tea tap.
A tea tap, absolutely, dude.
That sounds dirty.
It's, you know what? It was delicious, and I would do it again.
So you would do a tea tap again?
No, I would do it again and again and again. I wouldn't even wait 5 minutes.
Like it sounds like you're contemplating a road trip just to do a tea tap.
Possibly.
All right.
Possibly, and maybe a sliced pie.
Well, I don't know what
Pizza pie.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, it just sounds good.
If you're on the East Coast, you should be eating pizza, right?
Oh, dude, that's a gimme. That's a gimme.
Yeah, pizza and clam chowder. I mean, is there a better place to get clam chowder than the East Coast?
No, from Florida all the way up, man. It's excellent, dude. I'm telling you.
I was a little...
She crab soup also.
I was mildly disappointed with the clam chowder in Florida.
Really?
Maybe I was in the wrong part.
What kind?
I was close to Tampa.
Yeah.
The west side of Florida, maybe that was a bit off.
East side, North Florida, man. They really have it good. And then they have it's the red clam chowder, and it's I know there's a different name for it. Menorcan chowder. I think I'm saying it right. And then there's the regular clam chowder. Either way is delicious.
I was much more impressed with the Cuban cuisine.
Yeah.
The Cuban sandwich down in Florida. Tasty. So anyway, I think we spent like 5 minutes not talking about records when we told everyone we're going to talk about some records.
I don't think. Okay, this podcast is not about food
or beer.
We're either very thirsty or still hungry, or both.
Quite possibly both.
Quite possibly both.
I mean, really, the 2 margaritas only started things.
No, you had margaritas, man?
2.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry,
I'm
dose.
sober, dude. We should have stopped at Casey's, man, and picked up a couple of cans.
I don't know.
We are in Greenwood, though.
We are in Greenwood, and you have to drive approximately 3.5 miles under the speed limit not to get pulled over.
Under.
Correct.
Exactly.
Under, yes.
Exactly. And if you're too loud, like you're chewing gum too loud in your car, hopefully you're...
I was kind of afraid of the podcast.
I hope nobody from Greenwood is listening to. They're gonna be like, "Hey, man," it's true though. He's right.
Right. And for some
We
reason,
love you, Greenwood.
Yeah, if the GPD's listening, God bless you.
Yes, I love you. I drive a black. No, I'm not even gonna tell you. No, why would I do that? That just alienates me, man. That's so stupid. I should have learned that one.
Why? It's just a white Civic.
Exactly. And if you're running in there, you go.
Fleeing the scene.
Fleeing the scene. That's a great band.
You know, I've heard the name and never listened to them.
Gotta check them out.
Really?
See? Come back to music. Bam, we're back. Look at that. Wonder Twin Powers. Boom, activate. All right. So we're here, and this is what we're doing with this podcast, all right? This is what we're going to do each and every week, possibly. Maybe every other week. It depends, on if people like this.
It kind of depends on how many people are liking it and our schedules, obviously. But personally, I'd like to do it weekly. And when you first shot me the idea, you probably recall this. I kind of asked you sarcastically, you expect me to talk about music for an hour a week?
Well, I think what you really said
really
was...
sure I can do that.
I think what you told me was, dude, what the fuck ever. No way, bro. And I said, bro, seriously? And you were like, bro, no. I said, bro. And you went, bro. And I said, bro.
Well, okay.
All right, I'll give it a try.
It is what it is, bro.
There you go, bro. If you can see, if you're watching the video, when the video comes out, you see that I have wallpaper on the TV, on the monitor, that it's the New Orleans Saints. Yes, I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan. Don't hate me for it. I am a proud member of the Who Dat Nation.
And I'm good with that, up until they face Patrick Mahomes, at which point, screw your Saints.
Hey, man, come on, dude.
Just saying.
It was a good game last year.
No, it wasn't.
Whatever, dude. It wasn't a blowout.
Should have been.
No, get out of town. Get out of town. You know it's baseball season, right? And we're talking football. I just wanted people to see that and see that, hey, that's a beautiful looking helmet.
And it is. It is very nice, and I would also like to point out you brought up the football.
All right. Well, that's for, you know what? Football season. That's for football season. We're doing fantasy football. We're like, no, don't start that person.
Right,
you really don't want to do that. Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, sometime in October we're going to be like, hey, look, it's Black Sabbath, and don't start Matt Stafford.
And don't.
This is the wrong week for that.
Justin Fields? Go with Justin Fields.
Start Justin Herbert, maybe.
Justin Herbert.
And
what a stud.
And while you watch the Chargers, listen to Volume 4, and, whatever.
Listen to Volume 4 again and again and again.
Because you don't want to listen to Tony Romo that much.
No, dude, by the fourth quarter, he sounds like he's had one too many cigarettes or a couple cigars, and he's had a few Coronas, man.
Well,
he's like, oh, sure. I don't know, Jim. I don't even know anymore.
On the other hand, he's also still trying to predict plays, and he's not as bad as Aikman, who sounds sloshed at quarter number 1.
Dude, what are we doing picking on everything right now? We're like, you know what? And this right here, this is bullshit.
These folks don't even watch.
Oh my God, dude, we're gonna be in trouble. People are gonna be like, I don't even know what to do with you guys anymore.
What are they gonna do? Take away our birthday?
Probably. They could. You know what? I think they're trying to do that. If I'm not mistaken, they're trying to take away our birthdays.
And that's
you
all.
Can have it.
And that's all I'm gonna say, because anything else I say, Sherry could use against you.
Probably.
And like,
good.
Very possibly willingly.
Oh shit.
She'd be like, man, Adam's got some good ideas.
What?
You, sir.
You are grounded. No birthday for 2 years. What?
I'm going to take your iPad.
No, Mom. No. Mommy, sorry. Okay, we're totally getting off the subject. Let's get back to music. We're here to talk about music. We have one album apiece that we're going to talk about. And this week, the inaugural week, we figured, you know what, man? This is the music that we pretty much... I mean, when I was a kid, I was listening to a lot of rock and roll, and as you were probably, you know, a lot of AC/DC, a lot of the Eagles, a lot of Led Zeppelin, the Who, stuff like that.
Well, but there's that. I like, and for me, because we had talked about doing this first one as, you know, the first album that really got us into music. And you know, I picked out a Black Sabbath album because it's one of the first ones that really caught my ear and made me start digging into bands and looking into stuff.
Yeah.
But realistically, I'm not getting into especially current music until the albums we're going to talk about today.
Because
it's more of that early '90s stuff when, you know, I think I'm a little bit younger than you, so like that early '90s stuff. I'm graduating elementary school, going into junior high.
and I'm you know, leaving middle school, going into high school or junior high, you know.
And that's right when these albums are coming out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean,
And don't get me wrong, man. There was some, like, you know, you're the same way. We were listening to the classics. We were listening to the metal. You know, I was listening to a lot of new wave because I enjoyed some of the, I don't know, let's not put labels on it, but you know, some of the hair metal. You know, the mid to later '80s rock and roll that was, you know, predominantly played on rock and roll airwaves. And I just wasn't getting into some of those bands. Some of them I was, some of them I wasn't. And I was like, well, man, I need something else. And then I start listening to, you know, bands like The Smiths, Morrissey, and then I find Jane's Addiction, and then I find the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then I find, you know, 24/7 Spies and Fishbone, and I'm going, you know what?
boy,
There is another.
Fishbone. There's a good underrated band. That's a good one.
Absolutely. But, you know, I realized, you know, like Social Distortion, you know, there are other bands out there, man, that are making music, the music that I really, it's stripped down, it's just straightforward, here you go. You know, a lot of punk rock, you know, Black Flag, Bad Religion. I mean, dude, that spoke to me.
And as much as I hate to say it, I was kind of with the rest of society at this time period because I'd spent, you know, several years digging through my brother's music collection. You know, my brother, you know, at that time, you know, early '90s, he had a fairly large collection. It may have been 400 or 500 CDs.
Yeah.
So I had access to a lot of different stuff, and I started out with more of your. Let's just go. First four bands I got into are somewhat eclectic because we're talking about Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Smashing Pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. And then, what a mix, man.
So I'm a little bit all over the place, and I was looking for something new, and then we have Nevermind.
Oh,
Because
dude.
Nevermind kicks off the whole quote-unquote grunge era.
Another title that, you know what, the bands didn't really like that, man. They were like, dude, how are we grunge? We're just a different kind of rock and roll.
No, and the reality of the
It was a
matter,
hybrid.
the reality of the matter is that, you know, once Nirvana hit, the media folks said, hey, let's lump everyone from that area in because that's the only true commonality through most of the big ones is that they're all in the Northwest.
Yeah.
But, you know, like everyone else, I was kind of looking for something new, and here comes Nevermind. Because, like, you know, don't want to steal your thunder, but Alice in Chains
Mm-hmm.
had a couple songs out on Facelift that are before Nevermind. They, no pun intended, made some noise.
Now, did Sap come out, the EP come out before their first record, their first full-length record, or was that in between?
No, they technically have an EP before Facelift. I want to say it's We Die Young. It's basically a glorified single.
Okay, and then it was
And
Facelift, and then it was Sap, and then it was.
I think technically Sap is released after Alice in Chains, but they're recorded about the same time.
Okay.
If I'm remembering right, because I was looking up the chronology of all that, because I was a little uncertain too earlier. Because it's Jar of Flies.
You know, you had
or not Jar of Flies. It's Dirt.
They just put them out like that.
And it's Sap and Jar of Flies, and it's not one of the records we're talking about today. But funny thing I saw when I was looking through there, Jar of Flies. They were just jamming in studio, and someone heard them and said, "We should go ahead and put that out."
Yeah, and they were like, you know, we're only going to make this amount of songs, and that's it.
And that little EP was just basically one great jam session that happens to be amazing.
Absolutely amazing, man.
And it's also let's go ahead and this is, you know, if you like what you're listening to, you're going to hear this point a lot from me. That's a good example of why you go see a band live. Because when you see a band live, you're going to find out what songs in their older catalog they liked, because they're still playing them. You're going to find out what songs they didn't release that they liked. You're going to get a better idea if a producer or someone in the record label steered them another way, because they're going to play the song the way they want to when they're live.
Exactly, and we talked about that the other night.
So you get to an album like Alice in Chains Unplugged, and for some reason, almost the entire Jar of Flies album is on that recording. They loved it.
They loved having. Dude, they had a good time. You can tell when they had a good time.
They got back together. They knew the environment was right. They played songs that they wanted to play, and it happens that EP is almost completely on there.
And which is awesome. I mean, dude, that's one of the best, unplugs. I mean, that's a whole different ballgame, whole conversation.
It's really, there's only 2 or 3, for my taste and opinion, live records where I think to myself, I want to listen to this band. The first record I want to put in as a live one. Alice in Chains Unplugged is one of those.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely loved her. Facelift is great. Jar of Flies as an album is great. Most of the time though, at least 90%, if I want to listen to Alice in Chains, I want to start with Unplugged because it catches everything. They sounded great. It's a great flow between the songs. It's great. It's one of those select albums where the live one almost outdid their studio work.
And you can tell a band when they're hitting on all cylinders. And that right there to me, that was something that they were like, you know what, man, we're stripped down. We're just going to do it. We're just going to go out there and play what we want to play. We're going to have a good time. We're going to enjoy ourselves.
Well,
and there you go.
That's a great big part of it. I think part of it's also, that was legitimately, they had obviously some studio sessions and whatnot. That was the first show they had played in years. So they're also fresh. They're like, this feels new again. We're going to play the songs we like, but this feels new again, and it's fun. But again, it goes back to my original point there. They hadn't played in so long, so what songs did they go back to? Jar of Flies.
Yeah.
Dirt. I mean, half the Dirt album is on that Unplugged show, too.
Well,
I mean,
this is what we're talking about.
So
this is part A.
Yeah. Now
side one.
Now that we've beat around the bush for roughly 10 minutes.
So if you're watching this, you see me holding this up, and you're going, "Wow, all right. Well, I saw that in the distance." Yes, the album that I picked for the first record, the first album I wanted to talk about, was a game changer because I'm in high school. You're listening to all this music. This music's actually sticking with you. It's talking to you. It's saying stuff that you're going, you know what? I understand a lot of this, man. This makes me feel different. And this record, it warmed my cockles, man. My cockles. But this album, Dirt, by Alice in Chains, which came out in what, 92?
92.
Summer of 92, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm pulling it out of the cover. Ooh, look at that. That's beautiful, man.
Like I said, I looked up the discography and stuff earlier today. It is almost exactly 1 year after Nevermind, which is what started me on this subject because Alice in Chains had put out a couple songs that did reasonably well, but Nirvana kicked the door open, and suddenly everyone wanted to hear the Seattle stuff, and this great piece of work here that you chose and picked out for this inaugural podcast is, like I said, almost exactly a year afterwards, and just takes off.
Well, I mean,
because it's great music, and then everyone was paying attention, so they gave it their full attention, and it deserved it.
And don't get me wrong, the first couple of, Facelift was great. That came out in '90. It was a great record, but it had some. It still had this. It was very unpolished.
It didn't feel
but I didn't mind that.
It didn't feel like as complete of a record to me.
Exactly. Like the last couple of songs on the record, dude, are not bad, but they're also like, let's just throw this in, man, because we're running out of time. That's how I felt. Like, hey, we're gonna do this, but this album, Dirt. I mean, dude, let me name some of these songs, and oh my god, dude. I want to go down the line.
No, wait. Can I? I'm going to jump in the middle of this one because here's one of my greatest things about this record. My first 2 vehicles I owned had a tape player, and I had 3 tapes that were on constant rotation. I had Inema,
Mm-hmm.
I had Stone Temple Pilots Purple, and I had Dirt.
Mm.
And I love it to the end of time. Side B starts with Junkhead.
Yeah,
Such
great
a-
song, man.
And if you look at that album, that's a great split point because Junkhead is a great way to lead a side.
Well, and that's back when, I mean, this is why I'm listening to albums again, man, which I never really stopped, but, you get to turn one over and be like, you know what, I don't want to listen to side A, I want to listen to side B, or I want to listen to the second album because, some of these are double albums, but, I mean, you start with Them Bones, and then Damn That River.
Beautiful song.
But I mean, those 2 right there are just fucking bangers of songs, man.
Hand me that cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that again.
And what a great cover also. That's a great looking cover. I mean, that's eye-catching, man. And then you go down in a hole after Rain When I Die. I mean, dude, that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 killer songs. Then you got Sick Man, which is solid, and then Rooster.
Which is a great one.
I mean, dude, great one. That's a...
If I'm not mistaken, that's written about Chemtrails' dad.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Which, the video's great. I mean, dude, how many videos they make off of this one album, man? Think about it.
Well, they put out 5 singles for this album.
Yeah, and dude, and that's huge, man. How many bands do you see now that put out maybe 2?
Well, not only that, here's another one too. You look at all the different singles and stuff that bands release, and 90% of the time you're looking at track 2, track 3,
Mm-hmm.
maybe track 5. These folks decided to release, what is this? The last song on the record is a single, and it's a good one. The last song's not a filler, because Wood is an awesome song.
Dude, that was on a great soundtrack.
Which, by the way, and that's probably how it made the record, that comes out before this is released.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
they already had that one in the bag, per se. And I don't know if it's a throw-in because they already had it done, or if they just thought it fit the album.
Dude, I don't know, but
either way, it worked.
What a great problem to have, man. You're going, you know what? Let's just throw that song in, which is a fucking jam. Let's throw it in at the end. Why not? I mean, dude, I can keep going. You got Sick Man, you got Rooster, you got, like you said, Junkhead. Which, dude, these songs are leaps and bounds, man, better, in my opinion, than Facelift. Just because they're a little more polished, they've been on the road, they know where they're going with this next record, and then they just, man, they slayed it. They absolutely slayed it. There's certain albums from certain bands, man, that you just go, you know when that first song hits, that first note, that first beat, and you're like, this right here is going to be a killer album. And then before you know it, man, you're at track 6, and you're going, oh shit, man.
Right, and you look at the side A, you start off with what you just said, Them Bones, and you're, at least for me, I'm automatically there. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, what is Lane hollering about? This is good.
And
I like it.
And if you, if you want to hear this on the podcast, you want to listen to this music, sorry, we're not going to play any music for you right now as we speak. We're just not going to do it. I don't feel like getting in trouble, do you? The FCC and everybody always come down and say, oh my God, record labels like to go, you know what, you can't do that. And I say, right now, we're still working on, getting a couple of things set up to where we'll play a track or 2.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I want to get in trouble.
I don't want to get in trouble.
It just kind of happens. Like, it follows me. Trouble. It just follows me.
Well,
we're about 4 decades in here now. This is not an accident.
No.
It follows me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm going to try and be a good little soldier here for at least a few weeks.
But we may end up going, you know what, fuck it. There you go. We're going to play this song. But look, if you want to listen to this, it's really easy, man. Go find it. Go online, go find it, go listen to it, go on YouTube, go Apple, go wherever, and turn it on and hit play and listen to it again for the first time.
It's a major release, so it's on all of your major streaming sources.
No, yeah, there's no excuse.
Yeah,
You got it somewhere.
It's on the Spotify, the Pandora, whatever you use to stream music.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this podcast and you're enjoying it, you have it. You probably have it on cassette or CD or, somewhere. You got it somewhere. Like you said, Pandora, Spotify, you got it.
I don't think it's on 8-track.
It'd be a lot cooler if it was, man.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, dude, I would love to have an 8-track player, man.
Rolling down the street in our Nova.
I'd be like, man, come on, man. The 8-track, dude. Pop out that 8-track, right? Yeah, but let's keep going with, like, you got Godsmack. You got Song Dirt. Godsmack, Hate to Feel. And then Angry Chair?
That's one of the singles.
Yeah.
The last 2 songs on the album are singles and good.
Yeah, and then Wood, like you said, Wood. And you're going, what the? And I was sitting there looking the other day, and I'm listening to the record, and I'm looking where it's recorded and everything. Man, dude,
Where was this recorded? I didn't catch that.
Let me double check. Let me see. You know what? I am absolutely ridiculously stupid. Hollywood, California, if I'm not mistaken. It was somewhere in Cali. You know what? Yeah, I'm looking right at it, and I think it was California, if I'm not mistaken. Dude. There were a few of these albums that were recorded in California.
Wouldn't surprise me. One of the things I saw when I was looking around today is basically the label, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was in California, because it was the heads of the label, saw Nirvana taking off and were like, we need to get you guys back in the studio.
Yeah.
Your first album, did relatively well. We can catch on with this. Can you come in here and we get this going? I didn't see the exact time, but that had to be a quick turnaround as far as studio time goes.
Oh yeah.
Because it's what, 2 years after Facelift? Because Facelift was, we decided, 90.
Yeah, it came out in 90.
And this is 92, late 92.
Mm-hmm.
So they're touring for Facelift when the record people are talking to them, saying, hey, we really want to catch on to this Seattle sound, and don't care if you like the name or title of grunge, but let's make another record.
Yeah,
it just comes out a great one.
And that term grunge, man, is really, because Alice in Chains, man, is rock and roll too. It's just some fine rock and roll that aged well, man. Because you know what, this still sounds amazing now in 2021 as it did in 1992. You know what I mean? Like that's a long fucking time, man.
Yeah, we may have just dated ourselves, because that's almost 3 decades.
Yeah, I'm 27.
For the 20th time.
Hey man, I'm not that old.
Huh?
I'm almost there.
Shoot. Didn't mean to give that one away.
I'm almost there, dude. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. They're like, man, you don't look that old. I go, yeah, my balls have already dropped, bro.
Right,
You say, I can't sit on the toilet anymore, man, without, I gotta hold them up, man, because you know what, you hear blink in the water, and I go, wait, oh, damn it, I almost flushed them down the toilet the other day.
It's one of the worst feelings when you pop a squat and you dunk.
You go, boink, boop,
splash.
Boop. You're like, oh, I did it again.
Right.
Honey, I did it again. I shrunk the kids.
So, I'm going to hand that back to you.
All right, we'll get off of that. I know. I'm sorry.
And,
not really. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, and we haven't even mentioned them yet, but
oh yeah, are we going to? I mean, is there anything else we want to say about this record besides go listen to it again? This is a killer record. You know it. Everybody knows that this record is absolutely just grade A. If you don't have it on vinyl, go get it on vinyl.
And honestly, I do not. I'm going to have to go search that.
I love Alice in Chains records on vinyl because you know what? They're just made a different way. This was put out by with Columbia Records. Columbia Records vinyl and Sony is just amazing, man. This is a really good record, a really good album, and it also comes, if I'm not mistaken, it comes with a card to where you can, if you don't have it, you can download the
MP3.
Yeah. So you want to go get this record. This is Alice in Chains, Dirt. Shit. See, we were talking about all these other albums, man, and then I see what you have in your hand right there, and I'm getting excited, man, because that's another one, dude. That's a game changer, also.
Right.
But you want this record? And go get it. Record Store Day is coming up. What, June 12th? order this record from any one of your local record stores, especially here in the Kansas City area, the Greenwood, Lee Summit. Yes, there is a record store here in Greenwood. It's Wound for Sound. And then what's the one that you go to?
Isn't Wound for Sound like next door?
Oh, you know what? I think it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that gets me in trouble a lot because I go, it's Thursday. He's got some new stuff coming out.
Right. And
I see him undoing the boxes.
And it's probably gonna be good.
Pretty much, man. He knows how to get me, dude.
It's gonna be a 180 gram vinyl.
Oh,
all that good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Before we set that one aside too.
Where's the record store that you go to? You were telling me about this. This is in South KC, right? Or is it? Where's this at now?
It is South I'm not sure if the address is South Kansas City or Grandview. It sits right in that borderline, right around Blue Ridge and 71 Highway. The address is technically on Hickman Mills, but it's called Got What You Like Records, and it's run by a local guy. I don't know his last name. I know him by first name because I've talked to him so many times. Mark is a great dude. Last 6-7 months, he's gotten into more of the newer vinyl, like we were talking about with Alice in Chains, and the one I'm going to talk about here in a second. But he also has a very good selection of the used records too. They're in good condition, he prices reasonably, and as Sean was just saying, I'm also from supporting local.
Exactly.
I ran into this guy at a pop-up record show, talked to him, found out where his store was, and come to find out it's a mile and a half from my house, which may or may not be a problem, but
yeah, well, it's like being in a studio right next to a record store. That's a bad idea.
Good
or
idea.
A good idea,
right,
depending on this is an investment. Believe it or not.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
But so after that, I went in there several times and kind of got to know the man, and he helped me find one of my better record purchases. Which you know what? I'm not going to name it because we're probably going to talk about it at a later show.
Probably. I think we've name dropped a few albums that we're going to definitely talk about. And if you've been listening to some of the records that we've name dropped, yeah, we're going to listen to a lot of rock and roll. We're going to talk about a lot of rock and roll. We're going to explain why it gets us where it gets us.
And it does.
And Got What You Like records, before we forget about that. They are on Facebook. They are on the interweb. So check them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I see the weekly videos of Mark showing what's going to go out on Friday. So I don't even have to leave the house to know that the mile and a half is worth the drive.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Ryan over here, Wound for Sound. Say that 3 times. And I know. See, I almost screwed up. You go over here to Wound for Sound. It's here on 150 Highway in Greenwood, Missouri, and you know what? He's got a huge selection that is just absolutely tasty. Just go in there, and if he doesn't have it, man, he's gonna get it for you. That's the weirdest thing about this little shop down the road. Hang Got What You Like.
Well, and it's one of those reasons.
They're gems, dude.
It's one of those reasons you support local because if they know you're coming in, they're gonna take care of you. You don't get that with the big boy online. There ain't a soul at Amazon that's gonna go, hey, Adam, what vinyl can I get for you? And you know what?
Can I help you out with something?
And I'd be like, hey, the Black Pumas. I've been looking at that for a little bit.
And they're like, I'm sorry, it's sold out.
But no, Amazon doesn't do that.
You mean Jeff Bezos doesn't call you personally and go, hey, what's up, man? This is Jeff. I just wanted to tell you that the record is not available.
Well, actually,
but I will purchase the band for 30 minutes so you can listen to them.
Well, we're on a podcast. I can't disclose that information.
He doesn't call me either. No, I called him, man, and I go, where's Jeff? No, Jeff's not here.
No. You have to leave a message, and he doesn't return your call.
Never, dude. Never.
Just doesn't.
Jeff, if you're listening, dude, please call me back.
816.
555. Oh, you 812? Wait, what? Is that your Niner in there?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let's get in.
And I made reference to this earlier. Nevermind kicked everything off. It really, for whatever, once it started blowing up on the charts, the media started paying attention to the bands from Seattle. And another example is Soundgarden. When Nevermind comes out, Bad Motorfinger had already been released.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And it was doing reasonably well.
Dude, Bad Motorfinger.
It's a good album, and it's doing reasonably well. they're touring on it. The singles are doing well, and then Nirvana blows up, and it goes through the roof. And again, similar to Alice in Chains, studio says, "Hey, we want to capitalize on this.
Yeah.
Come back on in studio." And the beauty of what happened is Super Unknown, an absolutely amazing record.
Super Unknown by Soundgarden. Now, at this point in time, this album came out in 1994. They had Louder Than Love, they had Bad Motorfinger, and then they had...
but it's Louder Than Love than Ultra Mega OK.
Ultra Mega OK, which
And
Ultra Mega OK is up there on the wall because
and
that's a great album.
Bad Motorfinger.
And then they had an EP, though, before everything that was, man, I want to say it came out in 87 or 88. Late 87, 88. You know what? I need to do I listen to it all the time. I need to do my homework. Shame on me. You know what? When this podcast is over, I'm going to go kick my ass. I'm sorry, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I'm going to go kick my ass. I promise. And,
here's what's going to happen. I'm going to videotape him kicking his own ass.
It's happening.
And then you're going to Venmo me $1, and I will forward the video to you.
Venmo.
Yeah, that's
or Cash App. I don't know.
Or we can meet at the Quick Trip. Whatever.
At the Quick Trip, it happened. You know which one? State line.
I don't. Well, they're all under video surveillance to be a safe place, so I don't think it really matters which Quick Trip.
That's cool, man. You know, hashtag Uncle Bad Touch.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
Big hands on little hand.
The big hands. Yeah, but you know, right. Everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell is this, man? What did I just walk in on?"
This got off track, didn't it?
This really got fucked up. So these bands had other records, you know, Bleach with Nirvana,
and they'd had some success. Well, Bleach with Nirvana didn't do anything on the charts or
well,
anything.
no, but
like with Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, timeline wise, they are really the front runners of that Seattle grunge sound, because it doesn't truly take off, at least as far as the media and the charts and the radio stations go, until Nevermind hits.
Well, yeah, but they also, you know, helped out with, you know, because there were a lot of already established artists and bands in the Seattle area that were trying to get out there, man. And then you have, you know, heavy hitters, and they're heavy hitters in their own right, you know, like Mark Arm with Mudhoney. Mm-hmm. You had
Mother Love Bone,
Grunt Truck. Mm-hmm. You know, you keep on going down the line. You've got Screaming Trees.
You had the Temple of the Dog album before all this.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's what broke Eddie into being with the boys.
I'm pretty sure, because Temple of the Dog is basically a glorified combination of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Which is up on the wall if you look stage right. There it is, by the record clock, and it's right there. Temple of the Dog. That's another album that we may. Or may not talk about.
It's certainly possible.
No, it's possible. Let's get back to Soundgarden. 1994, Soundgarden Super Unknown.
And then, yes, we come out with Super Unknown. We got this.
The album though is beautiful, man. That is a beautiful copy.
You don't get this with your streaming services. You don't get the package. You don't get the artwork. You know, you got this distressed picture of Chris Cornell look like. Might be an aneurysm.
I don't know, man.
He's having problems.
You know, I mean,
which I mean, and if you read the lyrics to this album, we know why he's having problems, because the lyrics are somewhat depressing, to be honest.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's great music. I mean, Black Hole Sun is not about a ray of sunshine.
No.
By any stretch.
I mean, it doesn't sound. You know, it's a black hole sun.
I mean,
won't you come?
And then, you know, like I said, you don't get this with the streaming. You open up, you get even more artwork. And, like, you know, you're raising children. You pull out the insert here. We got this nice little booklet.
No, dude, open that all the way, dude. Of them sitting, on the outside though. Of them sitting.
There's that
in the room together, just. Look at that. That's a poster in itself, bro. That's awesome.
You get these full pictures of the band. I mean, Cornell looks positively studious over there, just bent over his guitar. You got Matt Cameron back there like, come on, dudes.
One of my favorite drummers of all time, Matt Cameron. He makes it look so damn easy, and it's not.
Correct. And then you go flipping through here and like you could do is what I was kind of talking about earlier, Sean. You could do story time with Soundgarden.
There you go, storytelling.
You could be like
Story time.
Okay, look at these distressed individuals, and then we're gonna read the lyrics and find out why they're distressed.
Mm-hmm. Which is awesome.
And it's great. And you got all the different artwork here.
And the artwork, man, it just, it pops at you, man. I'm going, you know what?
And the beauty of records is, with this revolution or reinvention of the records, everything we've just looked at was not in the CD.
No.
I've had like 3 copies of the CD. I know this.
Yeah.
Well,
I've had it on cassette and CD. I didn't see this.
No. This is part of the record package that they're doing where they bring it out, they clean it up, they put it on this nice vinyl that sounds amazing. And then you get this nice booklet where apparently someone's buried.
Which fits the record, man, the album.
Very much so. I mean, let's see. Yeah. So on the page where someone's buried, we have the lyrics to, like, Suicide.
Oh, dude.
Phenomenal.
I mean, dude, the titles on these songs, and this is another album, dude, that you can go down from beginning to end. Every song on this record kicks ass. Oh, they're bangers, man.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, let's talk about this. We're leading off with "Let Me Drown," "My Way," "Fell on Black Days," "Mailman's," the title track, "Super Unknown."
Yeah, great song.
Which, by the way, you can do the little things when you're doing the packaging. Because you go down here and you look at the song list, the only one that's a different color, it's the album title.
Exactly. Which the album is through A&M Records.
Right. And
which another great company to get an album from.
And after Super Unknown, we got Head Down, Black Hole Sun, Spoon Man, Limo Wreck, Day I Tried to Live, Kickstand, Fresh Tendrils, 4th of July, Half, Like Suicide, She Likes Surprises. It's absolutely amazing. This particular release, it's 2 records. You got 4 sides. I don't know which one's my favorite.
Yeah.
They're all solid or amazing.
It's just like with Dirt too, man. I don't have a favorite song on the record. If I had to maybe choose one on Soundgarden Super Unknown, like that I would listen to more than the rest of the album. Now, don't get me wrong, if I turn that record on, I'm going to listen to the whole thing.
And that's just it. And I actually meant to ask you when we were talking about Alice in Chains, what song is it that you start with? Because with what you just said, I'm the same way.
Angry Chair.
On Super Unknown, I'm going to start with, it's going to be Limo Record, The Day I Tried to Live. I'm almost halfway down the album because I love the back end of that album so much, but it's going to be on repeat too. So
4th of July for me on that record. And then the title track, Super Unknown.
And that's, when we were setting up, I put it on the last side of this to listen to 4th of July and Fresh Tendrils and Like Suicide, because I love those songs too. They're so good. And, part of the reason we wanted to do this and talk about records, and obviously our close group of friends also like music, so we know we're going to have some people there that watch and listen, and hopefully maybe we talk about something they didn't know. We're also hoping to get, new fans, listeners, people that are interested, because you may know a song like Black Hole Sun. You've probably heard it. You've probably heard Rooster. But the radio and even your streaming stuff, even as smart as your Spotify playlists are and radio stations are,
Sirius XM, Lithium,
they're not necessarily going to play Junkhead or Godsmack.
No, and that pisses me off.
They may not play 4th of July. You called that one out. It's one of my absolute favorite Soundgarden songs of all time.
The song just, the speed of the song, and it's just sitting there, and they go, you know what? Here, fuck it. We're gonna play it like this, and it's gonna be heavy, and it's gonna be crunchy, and it's gonna be in your face, and we're telling you a story. Just shut up and listen. And that's it.
And I'm perfectly capable of doing that.
Yeah, and that's when I'm driving down the road when I was younger, and I've got both these albums, on CD. Dude, I would pop one in, man. Especially if I was like traveling, back home to Chattanooga, Tennessee, man. I would pop one in, dude. Crack the window a little bit, turn it up, and let it go.
And you've basically guaranteed an hour of driving that is going to be just fine. You're not worried about taking a pit stop. You're not worried about conversation or doing whatever because you're just driving along, listening to music. The only problem with that is, songs like 4th of July, they hit a little bit heavy. And maybe there's something wrong with me, but when they hit a little heavy, my foot hits a little heavy.
Yeah.
I'm making a little better time.
Yeah.
When I listen to
Sorry,
Dirt.
I was looking at the camera.
Right.
I just wanted people to know that I was still here.
So like
in that camera.
I listen to Dirt, and I'm, probably maybe we're in Greenwood. I shouldn't talk about the speed limit.
The speed limit is 22.5 miles per hour.
Right. If you don't want to get pulled over.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Do the speed limit, boys and girls.
And it's just, we're both, I'm going to go ahead and say it, we're both nerds about this. I go digging through this and look at stuff, and I think it's interesting. Like, Super Unknown. We were produced by, where is it? It's Michael something. Beinhorn. Produced by Michael Beinhorn. About halfway through this, he has one of his buddies coming in here, is helping him out, named Adam Casper.
Mm-hmm.
Shows up in here. Adam Casper would produce the next record.
Yeah, Down on the Inside.
Which sounds to me completely different. I absolutely love it. You can call Super Unknown one of the heavier of the grunge albums. You could almost get away with calling Down on the Upside pretty. There are so many really well-placed guitar licks.
That record, I think they kind of had it in their mind that this was probably going to be the last one for a while. And that was that. I think Cornell had that idea.
I don't know whose idea it was or if that is truly the case, but like with Alice in Chains, I mentioned it earlier. If I want to listen to Alice in Chains, oftentimes I put in Unplugged. That's generally, a lot of times I'll start there. With Soundgarden, I'm going to flip a coin between Super Unknown and Down on the Upside because I think they're both great in different respects.
Exactly. But this album to me, though, Super Unknown, just like Alice in Chains, these are their opus. I feel they're at the pinnacle.
See, and I don't know if you can say that about Super Unknown because I think Down on the Upside is just as good in different ways.
Yeah, I think so as well. But for me, what the album means to me, it's got a little more meaning. Now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Down on the Upside sucks at all, man, because that's a great follow up to this album. No,
and realistically, the reason I picked this one, I've probably listened to this one a little bit more. It's the first one I got a hold of. When Black Hole Sun came out, I about lost my mind. And the first time I saw that video and listened to it, I was like, holy mother. This is one of the best things I've ever seen up to this point.
I saw that video. I was at a girlfriend's house at the time, old girlfriend, high school. And I'm coming home. I played a football game. We got beat up pretty good, I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee. You go out afterwards, you go hang out, you get a bite to eat, everybody's just kind of hanging out, and then you just fizzle out and everybody goes home. So it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm coming home, starting to get a little sore, need some ibuprofen, just want to go to bed. I turn MTV on as I'm sitting there on the chair with a soda or something in my hand. And this video comes on at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. Black Hole Sun, and it has that, MTV used to have that world premiere little, sticker on the side, and I'm going, world premiere, Black Hole Sun. Game changer, man, because oh my god, dude, their faces start melting, and I'm sitting there going, what is this? And I'm loving every minute of it, man. And of course, the next day, I had to go get the record.
And you watch it the first time, you're going, I'm mildly confused and completely entertained.
Yeah,
completely.
Watching
that video.
I love that. That's like when and this is getting off the subject, when Marilyn Manson put out Sweet Dreams, the remake. The video comes out, and everybody like with MTV is going, oh, the VJ has no idea what to say, man, and he's going, what the?
Which, by the way, who exactly? And I'm not knocking him for it, but I think about things like this. Who was in the room and said, you know what, I just saw the most amazing thing that everyone's going to love. And it's Sweet Dream. It's Marilyn Manson doing what?
I mean, the song is.
Someone watched that and said, "This is gonna work."
I think the kids are gonna like it.
They actually did, but
Well, yeah. I mean, I did. I totally did.
How do you come to that thought, though? How do you look at that and go, "This is gonna sell"?
Dude. I mean, when you get an album called "Smells Like Children."
Did you?
Yeah.
Honestly, it Smells Like Children is good, and I understand that, but I was thrown a little bit when he goes to Antichrist Superstar, and I'm like, I'm okay with some blasphemy. That's getting close to the line.
Dude, that he really went after people on that one. He went after different. Oh my God, we're getting so. I'm gonna go have to buy that album.
Which, by the way, at some point, we are going to have to talk about one Mr. Manson. Because even though, realistically speaking, he is a businessman first, a showman second, and a musician third. Realistically.
And he loves porn. I mean, come on. He loves himself some porn. He's in a lot of trouble right now because of that. But
that might be three.
He likes making his own porn, apparently, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble for that one.
I don't know. But he's always known what buttons to push with the public.
The hardest button.
Boy, when we have gotten and the White Stripes reference. Here we go.
There you go.
And
see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're going to be doing. You don't know where we're going. We're going to have a couple records. We're going to talk. Oh, also.
And right, the records are really just kind of like stopping points, as you can probably already tell by now.
Exactly, and you know these videos, the podcast, it will be a podcast you can listen to, and if you want to watch the video and see us, just kind of sit here and talk, and you can watch that on YouTube
and look at some album.
Yeah, and look at the album artwork and stuff. You can watch that on YouTube, and also comment, make some comments underneath, and tell us what you would like us to talk about, or what gets your fancy, and what do you think about the album? And, where would you like us to go with the podcast? Or what did you feel about Alice in Chains, Derek? What did you feel about Super Unknown?
And if for some reason one of us says something off kilter, let's just say I'm playing devil's advocate here. What if I say something outlandish, and you feel like calling me out? You can do that on these platforms.
Exactly.
In the comments on your YouTube video, in the comments in the Facebook, and you know what? If you say something equally inflammatory back, we might even respond.
I would hope that they would. I would hope that they would, man. That means people are listening. And people are watching. And I like it when you watch.
And if you call me a douchebag, I want to ring out for you in the next show, right?
And we will, if you have questions, we will bring, on the next show, we will answer a couple questions. We'll read the question and we'll answer it. And, we'll do that either at the beginning or the end of the podcast. And we'll just keep going on that note, and, we may have guests come in with us and sit there and shoot the shit, man, and say, you know what, I brought an album of my own. I bet you don't have this one. And we can talk about the record. If you have more information you would like to throw about the album that we didn't share.
Or if we glossed over something that you want to know more about,
Exactly.
Shoot us a message, give us that question, give us a comment. We'd love some feedback and get this going. And
Because we could keep going with this, like we can break it down. We're the type of guys that we can break this record down from pieces and different songs and just get into the nitty gritty.
Right, which, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Sherry said that's absolutely annoying.
Yeah.
Because,
are we picking on her? She's going to be like, why do you keep saying my name?
No, I'm throwing that out there because this is what we do.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a while. We've met at many a bar, drank many a beverage, and talked about many an album.
Yeah.
And, it's last point on Super Unknown, talking about albums, going from album to album. It's the beauty of music. It's why I look through these things. Because, like I said, I mentioned the two producers. They hear a band like Soundgarden and clearly took it a different way.
Yeah.
But one of the beauties of music is it can bring people of different opinions together.
Exactly. It's rock and roll, man.
And it's great.
That's rock and roll. That's the way rock and roll is. That's how it works. Some people may like it, some people may not. I've heard numerous people tell me, yeah, I didn't really like Super Unknown. First off, I have to sit there for a second and I go, what? What did you not like about Super Unknown? Well, it was a little too commercial.
Is that when you order the shots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was too commercial. And I go, what do you mean it was too commercial?
I had one guy tell me that he didn't like Chris Cornell in general, and I was like,
oh, how do you do stuff like that? How do you do...
Here's what's worse. I had to work the rest of the shift with him.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
How do you... Okay, Chris Cornell, are you kidding? Like, come on, man. It's it's Lane Staley, it's Chris Cornell, it's Eddie Vedder, it's Kurt Cobain, it's Mark Arm, it's oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting. It's Josh Homme.
Is it? By the way, is that how you say his name?
I think it is.
I don't know.
I've heard both ways. Josh Homme, Josh Homme.
I look at it and I think Homme.
I hope I'm saying it right.
Homme.
Because then I'll sound like a dick if
Aw.
I'm not. And then another reason for myself to go kick my own ass.
And again, I will take video of this. You can pay me $1.
You will definitely take video
I will
of this,
take
and it's going to happen.
It'll be $1 for each instance of self-ass kickings.
It's happening. It's happening, folks. It's probably going to happen.
But yeah, so from henceforth, he'll be Josh H until I have further clarification.
Josh H. There you go. There you go. All right. You know what? I think we're all out of stuff for this podcast. We're almost at an hour. That's another thing. We're going to try to stick around an hour. And if we're not talking about albums, we're probably going to pick up a couple of 45s and talk about those too. I mean, you're going to hear us talk about a whole slew of different stuff.
And it'll be different subject matters too. Some it's
exactly.
I've had a bunch of ideas. We talked about already the albums that we really got us into music at very first. And at some point we can talk about some of the newer records that we've heard that are just amazing. Some of these new bands that are up and coming. At some point we can really dive into some of the different artwork. Bring 3 or 4 different albums that we each have that have just unique artwork and things that were album specific. Like I said earlier, you can't get some of that through the streaming service. You can't get an album with the pull-out booklet that has all the lyrics, all the notes, and all those pictures.
And that's another beautiful thing about getting an album. I like 311 a lot. Huge 311 fan. And the Evolver album, it has a lot of cool stuff. 311's doing a live show next Friday, which I will be watching. And they're playing one of my favorite albums of all time, Sound System, in its entirety. And that's a great album, man. That's a band that gets it, and they do it right with the record, because they know people love that record. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's records, man.
Sound System is one of the ones that always hits home with the 311 fans. It's one that sits pretty high on them. I'm not a humongous 311 fan. I like them though, and even then, the time I saw them, they played a couple songs on Sound System, and they played great live.
Yeah.
Really well.
They're solid, dude. They're solid live. Then some of their albums aren't they're good, but they're not. I mean, they put out some out like Transistor, great album, Blue album, great album, or the Alien album.
Oh, is that the one that's technically self-titled?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think.
Yeah. It came out around the same time as Weezer's Blue album, so I mean, like, what do you do? Whatever. Whatever. Just listen to them, I guess. Again.
And again.
And again. I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll probably listen to it again.
This was fun. We're gonna do this again. This was an absolute great time. Thank you very much for listening. If you have listened, and you like what you heard, and you want to share this with a friend or family member or anybody, and just I don't know, kind of spread the word. Hit that share button. Share it with people. Support local. We are local. Support local. Support local record stores. Support local restaurants. Support local bands.
Local businesses
Local.
in general. I mean,
Just local,
even before the pandemic that we've had to endure, whether we like it or not, these local businesses need your support.
Exactly.
And now they need it even more than they did before. Trying to keep themselves upright, get themselves back together, and going to where they can help people out. They can do like we were talking about earlier, where the guy at the record store, he finds you a record. That doesn't happen if we don't support them. They can't stay.
Exactly. That's a good point. It's a great point. That's a great point to end off on. I am Sean, aka Chick with the Goose. This is Adam. This has been the very first podcast of Chemtrails.
And we'll be back.
And we'll be back. And there goes the GoPro. It just shut off. That's it for that one. We're finished with that.
If ever there was a sign.
Yep, and it's telling us it's time to go, boys. And on that note, I think we're going to go have a drink. We'll talk to you soon. We'll talk to you here in the next week or two, and we'll have a couple of other records to talk about. Y'all be safe out there, and like we said, support local. See you later.